morning. Happy Monday to you all. I apologize that I was late, but I went to make a cup of coffee and I am out of coffee creamer. So I had to pivot and make a cup of tea, which meant I have to do things differently this morning. So I apologize. Good morning. Welcome in. If you are a member of the team, hit the Daily Heart Me. If not, stick around. And if you like what you see, hit the Daily Heart Me and join the team. My one was diabolical, AJF. Good morning. Good morning. What I do ask is that everybody tap the screen and like the live every time I change a photo. So for anybody that's new here, I ask for you to feel the heart's tail. So when you start tapping, you'll see the heart. If you keep tapping, oh, thank you. If you keep tapping, you'll see what I call the heart's tail. Fill it and then take a break. I don't care about the number at the end. I care about being able to maintain the live and also ending up on the For You feed so we can help as many people as possible. It's about 85 clicks. Get your tappers out. Well, I appreciate it. That's the goal. That's the only goal. I don't care about what the number is at the end. Oh, thank you, Candy. I don't care about the number at the end. I just care that we're able to keep it. Oh, Kimberly, yes, I have added some new stickers for any member of the team. And just so people know, when it says D3, that is Digital Deceivers Detectives. And that's what you guys are. You guys are digital deceiver detectives because you help us do what we do. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you. Thank you for using those stickers. We have some great things coming in 2026, and the stickers are just the beginning. Oh, thank you, Granny Annie. I appreciate you giving me my flowers while I am still here. So, let's start off with who we're going to talk about today. Well, no, let's start there. So today we're going to talk about Tim and Angela and their return. I have a part 2 to the presentation about Bella James because I only gave you a piece of what happened. I'm gonna give you the other piece today, and what's so interesting is all you gotta do is do a little digging behind the surface. I'm doing part 2 today. I have a part 3 and a part 4, so this should be interesting. No traveling couple, sorry. Veronica or Cakes, Francis, I have a little something to prove that she's lying. Willie has made his way to the grid for the first time, but he is far from a bolo. And guess who came back? Crawford Land. Now, many of you may have heard the conversation I had with Christina. If you haven't, after the live today, it's a pretty long video, but TikTok president posted it. I reposted it. If you haven't heard it, it's a good listen to. And then Kat. Because some of the things she ended up saying make sense about some of the things that happened before. Wait, what? I was watching your chat with her. Oh, well, thank you. So after you're here and you want to hear the conversation, I mean, I'm going to talk about it, but if you want to hear it soup to nuts, it's the last time I looked, it was the most recent post for TikTok president. Now it might not be now, but the last time I looked, thank you all for one. That's what I saw. Her numbers dropped once you left. Oh, okay. But then I heard she turned around and asked for money after I left too. I don't know if that's true, but it is what it is. I'm not concerned about that. Okay. So, where do I want to start? Oh, no, that's not where I want to start. I will probably do this multiple times. But this is the calendar for the month of December. You can screenshot it. I'm going to post it. There will be a sub live every Sunday and a live every Monday. This week will be a live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sub live 7 p.m. on Sunday, and then a Monday live. I am taking time off around Christmas, and I'm taking time off around New Year's. Because y'all have stuff to do, and so do I. But I also have some new things that I plan on doing for 2026, and I need the time to do it, which means I gotta give the scammers kind of a break so I can get those things done, so I'm ready to go. There will be a live on a sub live on January the 4th, and then we will go back to our regular scheduled programming on January the 5th, that Monday morning. My son had a huge setback over the weekend, but we're getting through it. Like I said before, the healing process is never a vertical line straight up. You go a little bit, you fall back a little bit, you go a little bit. Thank you. But he's in better spirits now than he was. So that makes mommy's spirits go up. So I appreciate you asking. Hopefully we are on the way up. Well, I'm not surprised about Tim and Angela either. Did anybody see AJK answer why they said diabolical? I'm just wondering. Thank you guys. Thank you for the prayers. I appreciate it. Oh, okay. Just somebody who wants to throw out a word. The tea versus coffee. In the morning, I prefer coffee, and in the evening, I prefer tea. But I was out. Oh, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I was out of creamer. You are absolutely right. Well, I'll get some cream. Dr. Pepper has a hold on you. Listen, you have a friend in that regard. So, who do I want to start with? I think I'm going to start with Kat. So, Kat came on multiple times over the course of the weekend. Many, many times. And when she started, wait, let me get to, okay. The first time she was live for about 5 minutes, she was in the dark watching TV. TV was loud as all get out. And I wrote, I think this is her return for the 100th time. And she just kept saying, what's up? What's up, chat? What's up? And then she proceeded to tell us a story. And I'll be honest, at first, I was like, what is she talking about? Because she regurgitates stories. And she tells us that she was living with her girl and her girl's mother. But the girl's mother didn't know she was living there. And when the mother found out, the mother cut her in the stomach. Now, first of all, I saw a scar on her stomach, but that's not where she was pointing. That's for one. For two, we know she uses somebody cut me as a lie. Because she did the same thing with her ex-fiance. But then it occurred to me, that is why she was in the closet. Remember, it was live after live. She was barely talking. She was silent. That is why she was in the closet for all of those lives. Because she was staying somewhere she wasn't supposed to be. Because we were like, why are you in a closet? Well, now it makes sense. When the mama was home and awake, she had to be in the closet. And she was begging for $10 here and $10 there, and she needed to pick up a check and she needed clothes. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. I don't know what her fascination is. Well, I do know. Because I was about to say, I don't know what her fascination is with cutting, but there is a scar on her stomach. But that's not, the mother didn't do that. Because I could kind of understand when she was like, I don't want to call on my fiance. And then we saw the scar that she tried to use to prove that the fiance cut her. And when she showed it, A, it was on her leg. And B, there were 4 perfectly vertical lines. Correct, Plague. Yes, all for one. That's what I think. That's exactly what I think. I think she might have a thing about cutting. And so then, good morning. And so then that's what she'll say. That she was cut. And so now we have a new hotel dweller who needs, what was it, $90 a day for the hotel? Thank you, Vicky. And she's like, I want to ask for it today so I'm not stressed about it tomorrow. Girl, you have picked the absolute worst time ever to expect people to give you money for a hotel room every day. Now, she's been getting it the last couple of days. It is sad, animal lover. It is sad. And we know she has mental health issues. And I would much rather her be getting help for that than on TikTok begging for money every day. And she looks younger, but she's not, I mean, she's not older. She's young. No, she's not working. She wasn't working that entire time she was in that closet. Because there's no way for her to work and be live all day long begging for money. But now that we know she was living with her girl without the mother's knowledge, the closet makes sense. And I tell y'all, sometimes we don't have to speculate. We just have to be patient. We'll get the story. Yeah, she was saying, one, it was, I need the money to go pick up my check. Then another story was, I need the money because I got to pay them to get my check. There isn't a job on the planet that you got to pay them to get your check. And when that didn't work, the live would be the lie would be that she was starting a job and she needed work clothes. It was all a lie, and it was all manipulation. And I don't understand why they'll get mad at us for calling them out without being prepared to acknowledge what they're doing. You are lying to people to get money. And then, so now, of course, she needs money for her hotel, and she'll be like, I'm not scamming anybody. I'm in a hotel. But girl, you got there by being dishonest. You got caught by the mother. You got kicked out. And now you expect people to fund your life? Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. She didn't call the cops on the mama, because if she did, that would have been a part of the story. She didn't go to the hospital, because if she did, that would have been part of the hospital. I mean, part of the story. And I love when they're like, I'm trying to figure it out. I asked somebody the other day, what are you oh, it was Willie. Well, what are you doing to figure it out? They love saying that when all they're doing is coming to TikTok. That's it. Good morning to the people who have just come in. Good morning, good morning. So we'll keep watching because she's going to keep doing this. And I don't understand why somebody feels like they need to fund a grown woman. Oh, Queen, that came and went. She spent, I don't even know that they spent one night alone. I mean, one night out of the house. She was back the next morning. So I'll talk about Willie though. Who's next? Oh, let's talk Crawford Land. So he came back with 7 hours to go. And they needed $270. Now, Mr. Crawford Land doesn't ask by the day. Nobody's putting this on you. All I did was get Vaseline. And because I've had to put like something, he scratched himself one time until he got rid of his hair. And so I put like some Vaseline on it to help it heal. Actually, no, that was the time Kira tore him up because he cornered her. And now every time I reach in the drawer my night and get the Vaseline, he thinks I'm going to put it on him. It's hilarious. Anyway, well, I got rid of him. Whoop. That's all I needed to do. So, Crawford Land, he doesn't ask for the money by the day or 3 days. No, when he comes and asks for the money, he's asking for the entire week to get covered. Now, my question is this. You didn't know a day ago, 3 days ago, a week ago that you weren't going to have the money? Which tells me he didn't need the money in 7 hours. He was saying that to try to convince people to give him the money quickly. Because when that's where you live and you know that you're not going to get another paycheck, you don't wait until 7 hours before it's due to come to TikTok and say, I need $270 in this economy at this time of year. Absolutely not. Angel Dust, he's not new to our audience, but he may be new to others. Hello, Texas T. Oh, we all know I can't stand him because he's racist. Angel Dust for sure. And I advise everybody to take a break. I advise everybody to take a break, touch some grass, reconnect with real people who are honest, because being consumed by the people here are, listen, it'll make you skeptical of the entire world. The only one. Maybe you should take a break from defaming people, kicking them around in the dirt. Would you like a box to explain to me how I do that? Because what I love is that the people on here can lie, deceive, manipulate, scam, and you're worried about me warning people about it. That's a little odd to me. That's a little odd to me. How did I decimate anybody's character? I choose not to show my face because I don't want it to become about me. I've said that from day one. And again, tell me where I've lied. Tell me where I've lied. He's racist. We've seen the videos. The only one, I don't have to be anything to you. I'm not trying to be anything to you. You telling me that I'm nothing doesn't affect my self-esteem in any way, shape, or form. Okay. Does that make you feel better to call me a scammer? Because the only thing you're doing is improving my analytics. Hey, 42 people picking in, come on in. It's a safe place. To blow your feet up? What did you say? Like y'all do on my life. Is this Bella? What Cash App? I don't have a Cash App anywhere. People don't even know if I have a Cash App account. Well, you know what? Don't go back and forth. If they want to continue to improve my analytics, let them. They had an opportunity to get in the box, and they did. So, anyway, let's keep moving. Don't go back and forth. Ignore them and let them do. They had the opportunity to get in the box. They want to be a keyboard warrior. Let them. We going to stick with regular scheduled programming. So, anyway. So now Crawford Land is calling the young lady in his presence his wife. Now, he didn't say anything about them getting married. But now she's his wife. Okay, are you trying to sound more legitimate? Oh no, you guys can, you don't even have to mute or block. Let them improve the analytics. So, what he said was that the work he does is seasonal, and as we are getting to the time of the year, that's okay. You don't have to say sorry. They'll be back on another burner, like somebody said, to keep it going. Good morning, Miss Coffee. And they don't have the money. Good morning, good morning. So my question is this, similar to my last question. You don't know, or you didn't know that the season was coming to an end? Question number 2. What is everybody else that works with you seasonally doing with their winter time? You didn't think to ask them, well, guys, where are you guys going to work during the end of the season? Can you make a recommendation? Can you put in a good word for me? No. Their first move is, well, we'll just go back to TikTok. I know he got that job a few months ago, but it's seasonal work. And as we get to the cold weather, I believe he said it was with a construction company. Or not a construction company, landscaping, I believe, is what he said. So during the winter months, that usually goes down. Unless you're in Florida, California, maybe parts of Texas. He is on the Gulf Coast in Mississippi. It gets cold. And he's literally regurgitating the exact same things he was saying before. We're recovering from a catastrophe. Now, you would think it was a tornado, a hurricane, a fire. No, his car broke down. Sir, that's not a catastrophe. But he likes to play that it's a catastrophe to sound in a desperate situation. He now wants a round the year job. I did not see that he has a GFM. We might need to go check that out. Does anybody know how much it's for? Oh, thank you, Queen. 2000. Hello from the Ghost Coast. It's 20 degrees right now. Yes, proud fire wife. 1336 got raised. I'm going to talk a little bit about GFM because Frances is on some BS. Well, y'all call her Violet, but her real name is Frances. I'm gonna show y'all some lies about GFM. They don't wait until you get all the money to give it to you. He only wanted $20K. Well, that's down from the $35K Chef Carl used to want. So, of course, she was in the bath while he was doing the begging. But he wants a job year-round with better pay. Have you done anything to find that job? Or did you just come to TikTok? There's no way, if you knew that the last time you got your check, it was the last check, that you would wait to beg for $270. I don't believe it. But it's cute that you give people on TikTok 7 hours to raise $270. Now, let's be clear. He gets the money. And some of the people he gets the money from know that he's vile, know that he's racist. And they give him the money anyway, in spite of, or maybe they're giving him the money because they agree. I don't know what it is. But if y'all want to continue to take care of a grown man that is with a young girl, be my guest. But like I tell y'all all the time, if y'all are going to give him the money, just go ahead and give it. So the rest of us don't have to hear him for an hour or two beg for the money. Just give it to him. Georgie, let me tell you something. We are in the wrong business. Queen, I believe she doesn't come, and this is my belief, my speculation. She looks under 18. Let's just start there. She might be over 18, but she looks younger than 18. And I also believe that however they got together, however she got to him, he doesn't want her to go back. Oh, I love that name, Exposed and Chill. Thank you for sharing the live. I don't think they want to be found. Correct, Proud Fire Wife. That's exactly right. Set it up. And so he barely allows her to be in the photo. I mean, in the live. Like literally, she is straining her neck to look over his shoulder to see what people are saying in the live. She doesn't have her own social media. Does she not even have her own phone? Why does she got to strain over your neck? And my 35th question is, why doesn't she have a job? Yeah, right, Kim. Whatever. That sounds like somebody who's controlling. And if she has no social skills, how? Did she not go to school? Correct. Like, does she have any independence whatsoever? Is her life stuck being in that hotel room morning, noon, and night, 7 days a week, 365? It doesn't make sense. And you know, when it doesn't make sense, it's probably not true. Shout out to Judge Judy. And then he had a nerve. First of all, he said that he gets hot whenever he goes live. That's telling. I don't know. Oh, no, awful one. Don't even put that image in my head. No, thank you. But the front desk apparently controls the air and the heat from the front desk. I ain't never heard of that before, but it is what it is. I don't know if that's the truth or not, but I have never heard of a hotel or a motel that controls the temperature from the front desk. I never heard that before. But, I'm not on the coast of Mississippi either. But he said he gets hot every time he goes live. To me, that's telling. Like, why do you get hot every time you come live? Are you lying and that's why you get hot? Are you nervous and that's why you get hot? Right. Blood pressure shoots through the roof. So then there's I guess somebody he decided was a troll. And he calls his trolls incels that live in their mama's basement. Well, let me promise you something. People in the tent that I'm in aren't incels. And I doubt we live in our mama's basement. But if we did, are you mad about that? Are you mad that you don't have a mama's basement to live in? Like, how is that an attack on somebody? When you are sitting on live begging for the room you're in. Somebody has to make that. You are begging for the room you are in. And at the same time trying to diss somebody because they live in their mama's basement. He does. He sounds like Jim Jones. That's what he gives me. And that's why I can't stand it. Then he's like, I haven't been on here for 2 months. Well, congratulations, but you're back. And you only come back when you needed money. He hasn't been live in these 2 months at all. So much for appreciating your audience. So much for trying to develop a social media platform. You're only here when you need money. Really, gonna call gun a corn. I've heard, I don't know if it's MPD, but I've heard of people like be English speakers and suddenly speak a different language that they've had no connection to. Good morning. Wow. That's crazy. It is cringe. I know. Now, they used to do DoorDash. Well, he says he used to do DoorDash and then the car broke down, whatever. You mean to tell me in the last 6 months since your last DoorDash attempt, she hasn't tried to find a job? He said, now these are his words, that his father passed on when he was 14 and he's been on his own since. My question is how? How were you on your own at 14? Did you run away so that you wouldn't be a part of the state? There wasn't a single family member? Now, I'm not saying that that hasn't happened, but this wasn't 20 years ago. I know, Diana, but listen, if we don't do, he left to start his own cult. If we give up, they win. And I don't care about the people who already give them money and already know the story. I'm talking to the people who may have never seen or heard of them before. Don't give anybody money on this app that you can't see, that you can't verify. When they get mad when you ask questions, red flag. We gonna get to her in a minute. He was upset that churches don't help. And I talked about how the girl was calling around to churches saying that her baby didn't have formula. Let me say it louder for the people in the back. Churches used to help. They used to be an open door for anyone. And then churches realized that they were being taken advantage of. Ask Kiki. Kiki and her girls got baptized in a church after they paid for her to be in a hotel for like a month. And a nice hotel, not a dingy one. No, she was in one hotel from one church. She went to another hotel with another church. And they put her, the motel they put her in wasn't so nice. She and her kids got baptized in that church. Ask me if she's been back to that church since then. The answer is no. So churches now, since the money is coming from their parishioners, they use it on their parishioners. People can't just pop up and be like, I need money. They'd rather hold it for the parishioners that frequent their church because then they know them. They're able to identify the issues and help out. So stop getting mad at the church that won't give you something. Because there were 50 million people before you who took advantage. He said churches have treated him shitty. Are you a member of any said church? Then he talked about how he has prayed on his knees, but it didn't work. So now he focuses on making it happen. Sir, every time somebody sends you money, that's a blessing. Every morning that you wake up, that's a blessing. What do you mean it didn't work? Were you expecting God to drop a pile of money like he was a leprechaun in your lap for doing nothing? Oh, I didn't mean to send the invitation. I'm sorry. Sabuki, so am I. Wait a minute. Yes, that's true, Miss Coffee. They don't. But is God a leprechaun? Is he going to meet you at the end of the rainbow with a pot of gold? Like what? And he was like, I prayed for basic things, not selfish things. And nothing ever happened. You woke up every day after that. Correct, Nicole. What do you mean? And furthermore, God blesses your efforts. God is like, okay, you're praying to me. What is the scripture? Faith without works is dead. The works is what you're doing. You could be like, God, please, and I believe you can do it. And I'm gonna sit here right now and still until you make it happen. God, I want to buy a $3 million home. Make that happen. But I'm gonna sit still and let it happen. You're gonna do it. And I promise I'm going to sit there a year later and there'll be no $3 million home. Because did I buy a lotto ticket? Did I get 2 or 3 jobs? Did I go back to school to get a job in architecture or engineering or become a doctor or a lawyer? And then over time I can earn enough to get... No, I'm sitting here. Correct, berries. What are you doing other than sitting there with your hand out? Miracles happen every day. They don't happen when you're not doing anything. I saw a beautiful story the other day on the news where a gentleman, I can't remember, he's from an African country, and he worked at I believe it was a private school for boys as the janitor. And he encouraged them kids every single day. He was picking up their garbage, picking up after them. And I can't remember how, but somehow they knew that he had a car that he desired. Like it was his dream car. And after years of encouraging them, supporting them, telling them that they could do it, the kids got together, did a fundraiser, and surprised him with the car. Now, you could say that blessing came out of nowhere, but I wouldn't say that. I would say that all that he poured into those boys is why they felt the desire to give it back. He prayed every day for the strength to be able to go to work. He prayed every day for the calmness, the peace, to be able to pour into those boys. So no, it didn't happen out of the blue. He didn't say, God, I want my dream car and I know you're going to make it happen. And then sit on his ass and do nothing. He didn't know it was going to come from those boys. He just had faith that if I do what you ask me to do, if I keep pushing, if I keep being a good person, you will bless me because of my works that are manifested in my faith or manifested from my faith. What are these people talking about? He said he tried to join the military, but the majority of the men in his family have hearing loss, going all the way back to World War One. Good morning, MLA. I want you to have a wonderful day too. Imagine you calling somebody else an incel living in their mama's basement while the two of you sit on your asses and beg other people for money. The hypocrisy doesn't get any better. Nomadic Alaskan, I'm going to talk about that. Matter of fact, let's talk about it right now. Many of you may have never heard of this young lady. Everybody called her Rizzy. And people in the Black community knew that she had a mental health issue. She reported that she was essayed by her therapist, and people didn't believe her. There is a video, if you look up Rizzy right now, Rizzi, you will hear a video where she is in a live with a TikTok creator named Tea Time, screaming and crying that you're supposed to believe the victim until proof is shown that they were lying. Believe the victim first. Support the victim. But no, they analyzed her every move. Now, Tea Time in particular, I have a problem with. Because as this girl is crying, Tea Time is looking for her charger. Not an encouraging word from anybody. The other reason why I'm calling out Tea Time is because Tea Time is so concerned about her TikTok audience that she was on TikTok while she was driving her granddaughter or grandson. I think it was a granddaughter somewhere. And she was so focused on her live while she was driving that she hit an older gentleman and unalived him. She unalived a gentleman because she was focused on her TikTok live while she was driving. How anybody could find anything about her platform after that, I don't know. But this young lady got dragged through messy talk, drama talk, all of that. She was laughed at, ridiculed. There's another huge creator on here named Nosy Bystander, who had her in a box. And Rizzy admits to trying to buy friends. Now, Rizzy is African, adopted by a white family. And I think she really just wanted to be a member of the Black community. She didn't have that. And so she had a problem with a friend that was a hairdresser. And instead of people just acknowledging her pain, they dragged her for it. There's another creator named Heartbreaker who, it's my understanding, has scrubbed her social media and logged off. They made jokes about her being in a mental health facility. In her last live, there was even someone who told her to take her life. And so on her last live, she tied herself to her ceiling fan on live and took her life. Now, of course, TikTok ended the live. I'm sure it got reported 30 million times. And do you know those same people sat there and said she was doing it for clout? That she didn't really do it? That Africans don't unalive themselves? And this girl was gone. That's bullying. making this girl feel like she had nobody and nothing, that she was rejected by the very community that she was a part of, that people made jokes about her pain when they knew her mental health status. They knew she had been in a facility. They made jokes that, so in the mental health facility, she could only talk on the phone for so long. And they made jokes that she was on paid minutes. Like, remember back in the day with your cell phone when you did a prepaid? They were making jokes that she had a prepaid plan while she was in a mental health facility with her on the phone. That's bullying. So rest in peace, baby girl. I am so sorry that your life wasn't as valuable to the people it should have been. But I promise your life wasn't in vain, because it has woken up an entire side of TikTok that enough is enough. And the people that have been making the most money on this app by dragging people for their pain, people are waking up that they don't want to be a part of that anymore. And now Nosy is worried about the narrative that's being painted. So she's going to take a break from the internet. Ain't that cute? Ain't that cute? Not because what you did participated in this girl's downfall. You're taking a break because of the narrative. Girl, the video is what the video is. Nobody is making it up. The video is everywhere. So go ahead, take your break, learn something during it. When I need to talk about the way you look, when I need to talk about your size, your face, when I need to make fun of you because you lost your children, or you don't speak properly, or any of the characteristics about you that are just you, that's bullying. In my estimation, warning people about the fact that there are scammers, beggars, liars, and manipulators on this act is doing the Lord's work. Y'all were here on Friday when Chris came on here to talk about how painful it was for him to watch Tim Nash lie about cancer, lie about seizures. You heard the crack in his voice. And if you haven't, it is posted to my page. What they're doing isn't a harmless live, a harmless post. When people have turned around and given somebody their last because they thought that the person on the live, sorry, had to do a puzzle piece. Oh, another one. It's not innocent. It doesn't not hurt someone. What was I saying? When somebody gives their last because they think that the person needs it more than they do, and then they get blocked. When the person lends them the money because they say they're going to pay them back, and then they get blocked. It is not harmless. Beggars and enablers, I can't control anybody else but myself. The only thing I can say is on this platform, we're not doing that. I look at what you do, what you say, and I report on it, offer my critique and or my opinion, and that's it. I say all the time, if you want to open your wallet, your bank account, and give them the money, be my guest. I'm not talking to you. But bullying is not what I do. What happened to Rizzy is bullying. Now, am I going to say that everybody who sits in the tent on the other side of the tent for me don't do that? I can't say that. We've all seen it. We've all witnessed it. I'm on the other side of the tent. I don't do that. Now, clearly, if you had been here, you would see that it happens to me. I was just asked if I was on rugs, whatever the thing is. So I don't remember who it was that asked the question, but I hope that in talking about Rizzy and probably many others. Wait, let me just say this too. Do you know that somebody recorded the live and then replayed the live of her unaliving herself? Yeah, they did that too. Even in her passing, people did that. Yeah, they said, oh, she couldn't have done it. Look at the way this was done and that was done. It was fake. So I hope I made a clear difference between what I do and bullying. And I can only speak for myself. Silver Swifty, the great thing about the internet is that it's forever, and I'm looking for manslaughter charges. They might not go to jail for it. They might plead down from it. But that's what I'm looking for. Correct, coffee. Christy or Cricket, you don't have to apologize for making me mad. I appreciate the apology, but don't worry. Sometimes the question, like this question that I just got, helps me explain things even further. So don't worry. Let's see. Where were we? Okay. Let's just talk about this. Because like I told you before, correct, Proud Firewave. On yesterday, I was in TikTok President's Live to get an update. Because I don't watch Christina as much as I used to. Because there's so many others. I cannot keep up. But I've watched her enough to know about the lies, etc. And when I went into TikTok President's Live, I remember on Friday, the TikTok president was planning on going to see her. And TikTok president even said, I'm not going live because I'm not doing it for clout. I legitimately want to support her. She had kind words, but she also said she begged for money right after she accepted all of us, and I don't find that acceptable. So TikTok president tells me that now she's telling TikTok president to pull up, that she ain't scared of her, but then she wants to get her an OP. And there were people in her life supporting her nonsense. So I said, well, let me go over and see if I get blocked. I went in, I said, hello, how are you? And she's still talking. And I was like, can I get a box? Can I get a box? And I had a conversation with her similar to the one that I had with Bree from way back when Bree used to beg every day for her hotel room. Because what I find is that the mods, enablers, and sycophants ride with them regardless of what they do. There's no accountability whatsoever. Oh, you lied to all of us about being pregnant? No problem. Oh, you lied to all of us about having cancer? No problem. You lied to us multiple times saying that you were running away from Caden and you weren't? No problem. And when you have that type of echo chamber, anybody who has anything to say other than that, you think they're a hater, that they're coming for you, that they're a troll. Everybody in life has accountability for what they do and what they don't do. If you do the right thing and don't do the wrong thing, your accountability is positive vibes. It's a positive outlook. Positive things happen. When you lie, manipulate, and I told her she is an expert at manipulating people. You need to be held accountable. So I went in her box. I'm never going to be mean and nasty. I'm never going to curse you out because that's not my goal. But I told her how it was. I said to her, if these are your friends, why are they sending you the chats of somebody else? How is that making you better? They're keeping you embroiled in the drama. In her mind, she took accountability, so everybody was supposed to let everything go that she's ever done. That's not how it works. Most people will give you trust. You break it, you have to earn it back. You don't get it when you're like, okay, I'm sorry, you're right, I was lying. She wanted to say that TikTok president stalked her with her car. And I said, okay, you could call it stalking, but you and your people were calling her a liar. While you lied to your people and told them you weren't anywhere near Caden, and we could see Caden right outside that library. So you want to disparage what she did, but ignore what you did? That's not how it works. While you were doing all that lying and manipulating, your enablers were talking trash about TikTok president and everybody in her chat. And you knew you were lying. And yet you let that go on because you needed to maintain the lie to continue to get the funding. And I said to her chat, Why aren't y'all holding her accountable? Are y'all really her friends? I talked about the fact that she's upset about her mother. Ma'am, what mother wants to watch their child go down this path? I said, but you admitted that you self-isolate, and then the only person that mattered in your life was Kaden. What was everybody else supposed to do? And now that you've rid yourself of Kaden, people supposed to come running back? It's not how the world works. So if you want to hear the full length and breadth of what I said to her, because I cannot repeat it all. In fact, I had to watch it again to remember everything that I even said, and I still can't remember. Because I wasn't speaking from a script. I was literally speaking from the heart. As an older person, as a mother, as somebody who has mental health issues and have worked on them, that's what she got from me. I didn't pull any punches. I kept it a buck. I'm not gonna, oh, well, it's okay that you, no, you did it. You gotta live with it. And you have to build people's trust back. Oh, thank you guys. So if you didn't hear it, it's on TikTok President's page, and I reposted it. I don't know how I know how you find my repost. You go to my account, you swipe over to the right, and it'll show you the reposts. And then she went right back to begging, is my understanding. And you know what? I don't care if she takes any of my advice. Because you know what? There might have been somebody in both of those chats that were listening that might get something from it. There might be somebody who listens to the video and gets something from it. Correct. The princess is absolutely right. The grid is always open. The grid is always open. So, go check it out if you care. All right. Oop, not her yet. So, Miss Cakes lost her voice the other day. And she tried to say that it was because she was outside and it was cold. No, girl. It is all of the yelling at the top of your lungs that you do every time you're live. This is somebody who hits the red flags every single day. She's loud and wrong. She's lying. She doesn't want questions asked. The only conversation she wants to have is about giving her money. She's the kind of creator who, if you talk about anything other than her, she's not interested. Uh-oh, here comes the co-host. You have something to say about this, buddy? So, Cakes went live on the 13th around 3:30. They saying hi, buddy. To tell people that she needed the money for her room, which is $65 a night. And she was saying, now this is 3:30, that they were giving her until 4 p.m. to get the money. She just woke up because she will stay on live very late at night, knowing that she owes them the money in the morning. she was tired, and now she would have to go out on the street corner and beg for money. Let me see real quick if I have a picture of her doing that. I don't know. Hold on. White socks. Oh my goodness. Why do cats drop and become dead weight? Okay, I can't find it. But there's a video of her standing on the street corner with a sign going back and forth, good morning, and asking for money. But since she's found TikTok, she wants to do that less and less. So she starts telling them how cold it is, how tired she is, how she needs money for the room and food. And let me tell you, this woman eats DoorDash more than somebody with a paycheck. Okay? Then she paused the live because somebody came to the door. And she comes back angry that people are begging her for the stuff she has. I was like, isn't that rich? Isn't that rich? You are mad that somebody is begging you for what you have, and you're mad about it, while literally in the same breath, you are begging people for their money. It doesn't get any worse. And she's like, we all in the same situation, and they're begging me, and if I had it, I would share, but they see somebody deliver me food, and they want some, and blah, blah, blah. Well, you want some of what the people in the chat have, no? How are you mad about it? And then she's like, I'm begging myself. Now, how many times has she said, I'm not begging, I don't never get on my knees and beg, and I don't never say please? Now you're begging yourself? See, Cakes, one of the things about Cakes is she gets so angry that she says anything. And then she'll come back later and be like, I didn't say it. Until somebody, white socks. You have to figure out your life, buddy. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. Here we go. I'm trying to get the phone out of the way of him so he stops. I'm not a beggar. Thank you for the follow, dear. Okay, can we leave? Find, okay, hold on, y'all. I gotta let White Sox find where he's gonna go so that he can stop, because he keeps hitting the phone. Okay, yep, I'm rubbing on your head. Is that enough? Clearly he has stuff to say. Oh wait, what did Funky Rose say? Can somebody post what she said originally? Somebody find it for me. Can one of the minds find what she said? Oh, we're bullies? I know, Heather. And rest in peace to them. Exactly, Princess. I'm not even worried about it. Say what you want. White Sox. White Sox. You're loud and wrong. About what? What did I say that was wrong? Because I take contemporary. What's the word? I can't think of it. I take notes in real time. With your head rolling on the pavement? Fungi. Which who makes their name fungi? It makes me think of fungus. That's not cute. You can take that down. Nobody is afraid of you. You're bullying people in here. That, like, again, the hypocrisy. Oh, I know it's a fake account. Come on now. Who names themselves Funky Rose? Is it fungus or is it funky? Like, what are we doing? Okay, Funky. The easiest way for you not to have to hear me is to block me. Anyway, she said, I'm only begging for a little bit. Then she said that they knocked on her door for the money. Right back to regular scheduled programming. They think that what they're doing is distracting, as if I'm going to stop. I've been doing this for a year and I'm going to do it for another year. Nothing that you say or do is going to change a single thing in here. So that's why I tell y'all, don't even go back and forth with them, because it's giving them the attention. And what ends up happening is you're focused on what they're saying and not what I'm saying. So don't bother. Don't bother. They must be worried about where I'm going next. Anyway, she tried to say that she was hoarse from being outside. No, you were hoarse because you are constantly screaming and yelling at the screen. She said that what she wants for Christmas is a house or an apartment. Cakes. Even if somebody gave you a house and an apartment and paid for the month of January, what would you do on February 1st? You're right, Glory, that's true. What would you do on February the 1st? Now, y'all remember that I did the presentation, was it Friday, on her lymphedema. She is still telling people that her foot broke and she needs reconstructive surgery on the foot, but she's too afraid that she won't wake up. Good morning, Scamsland. I am in no way, shape, or form saying that her foot didn't break. But that is not the cause of her lymphedema, or it's not. She has lymphedema. Let me put it that way. Her foot could be broke. I'm not going to argue that. It absolutely could be broken. But the swelling up her leg is lymphedema. And we had somebody come in here. Oh, you did Scam Slam? Good. If you've missed any of her videos, go check out Scam Slam on YouTube. And you can hear her scream and yell. I mean, she is one red flag after another. Oh, thank you, Glory. Now, she talks about how cold it is in Memphis, Tennessee, but she's outside with just a shirt and a hoodie, and the hoodie isn't even zipped up. Hood isn't over her head. And she goes live from there so that she can say to people, like, literally, I think it was Saturday, and she's like, it's a slow day. Nobody's even stopped here. I haven't gotten anything, and I need the money for the room. It is all meant as a way to seem so pathetic and sad and without anything that she needs the money from TikTok. Because if she can get the money from TikTok consistently, then she doesn't have to go outside anymore. And then not only do you pay for her hotel room, she then tells you she's hungry. I haven't eaten anything today. She doesn't get food from the grocery store. She's not eating peanut butter and jelly. Somebody bought her tacos and she had a nerve to complain that they were cold. Girl, you didn't even pay for them. But she was like, I was so hungry, I just ate them. Hey, Chelsea, thank you. Japonica, she says she's in a hotel room. And the fact that people are knocking on the door, she keeps her face so close to the screen, it is very hard to see. Right, Shannon? She is, of course, making herself worse. And part of why she's making herself worse is that she just won't acknowledge her actual condition. We had somebody here on Friday who has lymphedema stage 4 explain what was necessary. I showed y'all what was necessary. Mary Harris, A, we're not bullying her. B, I've shown, hold on. Let's go through it real quick, y'all. Oh, thank you. This is Cakes. This is Cakes. She legitimately has a medical condition. But her condition is not a broken foot. She may have a broken foot, but what she has is lymphedema. It's the accumulation of lymph fluid in the soft tissues. What she has is stage 4 lymphedema. And what is required is compression. There are stockings and wraps that are medical grade that have to be fitted by a clinician to control the swelling. She has to elevate above her heart. When she is live, she's not laying down. She's up on that foot all the time. Wait, what is this one? For leg lymphedema, the best approach is still complete decongestive lymphatic therapy plus lifelong compression, exercise, and skincare adapted to how severe your swelling is and what you can realistically do day to day. You can't just go to the hospital. You have to have a primary care doctor that gives you a referral to a lymphedema therapist. They do bandaging, manual lymph drainage, teaching you self-massage and exercise. They also have pneumatic compression pumps at home that you put on the limb, and it offers like electronic compression. This isn't about bullying her. Instead of calling me a bully, I did education not only about her, but her condition and what she could do. How about if you're a supporter of hers, go over there and be honest with her. And tell her, listen, you may have a broken foot, but there is clearly lymphedema going on, and tell her what she needs to do. With that condition, she may be able to get disability and housing. But it's my understanding that she already gets disability. And if she gets disability, why is she begging y'all for money every day? You're not upsetting me, honey. It doesn't upset me because, like I said a moment ago, when people ask me the question, it gives me the opportunity to answer it, and there might be other people in here who don't know. Cakes has a legitimate physical ailment. Legitimate. I'm not questioning that. I don't just see somebody go live and start talking negative about them. But the point is, she isn't doing what's necessary to help her condition. And we had somebody here Friday who has stage 4 lymphedema, and she said every single thing I said was accurate. And if you're doing the things you need to do, that woman works every day. That woman works every day. Because she takes care of what she has to take care of. She gets the lymphatic drainage done by a lymphatic therapist. And now she's in her maintenance phase. She only has to do it every once in a while. So then my question is, why she doesn't have to be put to sleep to have the lymphatic drainage done? Why won't she do that? But what she's figured out is that people have empathy when they see her like that. She's more likely to get money when she shows you what her leg looks like. And so then she limps when she walks. And people are like, well, she can't work with that. Of course we need to help her. But she's not helping herself except to your wallet. Trust me, anybody can come in here and you see somebody's picture and you know that they're ill, and the assumption is that I'm bullying her. I'm not. I will do education first. But anytime anybody tells Cakes anything that doesn't fit her narrative, she blocks you. She calls you a troll. You know, she lied to y'all. She tells people in her live to go to her video to find out her story. Okay, you go to her video, you find out she has a GoFundMe. You go to the GoFundMe, and it says $8,000, and she's at 7,000 and something. But if you come back to her live and it's like, oh, great, you're almost at your GoFundMe goal, she blocks you. Why are you bringing up the GoFundMe? Well, that's what your video said. That is what's in your bio. Maybe people want to give you money. But you want to know where she lied? She said that GoFundMe takes most of the money. That's not true. When someone, so they take a percentage, and then for every single donation, whether it's $5,000 or $5, they take 30 cents. So somebody with a $5,000 goal on average gets $4,700. How is GFM taking most of the money? But you know why she said that to y'all? Because people are going to be like, well, what did you do with the $7,000? If people have donated $7,000 to you, where is it? So then she had to say, well, GFM takes most of it. And if you've never had a GFM, you don't know how it works. You think, well, that makes sense. What company is going to do it if they are not making the money? But it was a lie. So now if she's going to lie about that, if she's not going to take care of her own health issues, if she's lying about her health issues, you mean to tell me she wouldn't lie to you to get your money? And see, none of that is bullying. Those are facts, because those are the words that have come out of her mouth. That's what I talk about. I listen and I watch and I analyze. There are other people on here who have needed help. Never talk about them. Because they're not scamming, lying, manipulating to get the money. Of course she gets Medicaid. And when you talk to her about resources, she'll be like, resources is common sense. I don't need you to help me with resources. Healthcare is common sense. She'll tell y'all, I don't need to go to the hospital. The only thing they give me is water pills. Yes, because they're trying to help your body drain the extra fluid from the lymph node that isn't working. But the hospital isn't. They get you stable. They don't do the actual work. That's why it's like, what's a good example? Let's say you have an asthma attack. They rush you to the ER. They get you stable. And the very next thing they tell you to do is you need to see your primary care within 72 hours. And the primary care doctor sees you and says, you know what? You probably need to see a pulmonologist. And then they make a referral to the pulmonologist. And now the pulmonologist figures out what you need and they maintain that care. Cakes needs to do the same thing. The hospital doesn't fix it. They make sure she's stable. They'll give her discharge papers that say you need to see your primary care doctor, and then the primary care doctor will make arrangements for her to see a lymphatic specialist. And after they drain the fluid, they'll figure out the foot. But she knows all of that, y'all. She doesn't know what she needs to do. She's choosing not to do it. And whenever you say something to her about it, that's why she gets mad, because it doesn't fit the narrative that there's nothing she can do. She has to live like this the rest of her life. Now, let's be clear. Lymphoma, once it happens, you have it for life. But it's manageable. She doesn't have to live like this. But it serves a purpose for her. So that's why she doesn't want it to change. For somebody who has to beg for money every day to say that what's $1,000 a month going to do for you? A whole lot. What do you mean? And by the way, she makes money on TikTok. What was her name? Housing for Scammers? Showed how much money she gets. Oh, Housing 2.0? I can't remember. But she came on and showed. She's making money on TikTok too. Did she tell y'all that? What did she do with that money? So no, this isn't about bullying her. This is about telling the truth. Oh, they're the same person? Okay, thank you, Miss Coffee. I'm here to tell the truth so that people stop getting taken advantage of. Now, let me be clear. If you want to give her your money, be my guest. But at least do it with the truth and not with the lies, not with the manipulation. You want to keep giving her money? Open your bank account. I don't care. Oh my goodness, you're so heavy. Okay, just stay right there. Next. Now I told y'all, these two were gonna come back. They came back actually a little earlier than I expected. I expected them to come at the end of the month. Oh, yep, here it goes. I expected them to come at the end of the month like they did last month. But no, the moment they need something, to TikTok they go. They're like, oh, we tried to figure everything else out, and this is our last resort. No, it's not. It's the first thing y'all think of. And to show you the disdain they have for their audience, they can barely come live when they don't need money. You want to say, yeah, he's big boned and dead weight. Good morning, Blue Eyes. It is not that they care about anybody on TikTok. They don't. Because otherwise, you don't even have to come live. You could come live for 20 minutes a day and be like, hey, checking in. How is everybody? They don't bother. When they don't need you, they don't come live. And yet, y'all are still sitting in there literally hanging on every word. Don't y'all feel taken advantage of? Don't y'all feel used at this point? A lot of them do that. Tim Nash is doing that. Crawford Land is doing that. Tim is doing that. The woman can lay there comfortable, no job. They don't even beg. They don't say thank you, but they benefit from the money. Help me understand that. And they like to be like, well, we haven't had to come on in a few weeks because, but guess what? If she got a job, y'all wouldn't have to come back at all. Make it make sense to me. And again, how is it fair that you go to work every day so she can lay in the bed all day? That makes sense to you? Because it doesn't make sense to me. And what did he say? Oh, she wants a job that she could work from home from the, not home, from the hotel room. And then I want to get a job that I can work from the hotel room while I do the other things that I do. But we didn't have a laptop before. Yeah, because you convinced one of your sycophants to send you a laptop. So you have one now. But that was months ago. And now you're bringing up what happened to her doing the selling? Because she was the top person. What happened to that? Remember they just needed $21 or something to get started? Where did that go? But again, nobody in their circle is willing to question anything. And y'all know the first thing I'm asking questions, and I have 35. Ask Mr. He hates it. He'll be like, the weather was good today. What do you mean? And he'll be like, the weather was good. I know, but what do you mean? Was it windy? Was it not? Was it clear? Did you have any clouds? Were you able to take your jacket off? Did you have to wear your gloves today? Did you have to put sunglasses on? Was it that? I will ask 35 questions. And I told y'all the story, but I'll say it briefly. I went on a school trip that I had no business going on. I just didn't want to be at school that day. So I asked the teacher going on the trip, you're going on the trip, can I go? She was like, okay, get permission from your parents. I end up at a prison. It's a go straight program. And because I didn't know, they did the thing to me where they handed me something and told me to hold it. I'm dumb. I take it. And then when he comes back and asks for it, I hand it to him. And he's like, this isn't what I gave you. And now I got 3 prisoners around me. And because when I get nervous, I smile, they think I think it's funny. And I'm just nervous. So when they did the breakout session, one of the gentlemen came to me and he was like, I hear you weren't meant for the program. And I was like, yeah. He was like, so how'd you get here? I was like, I heard there was a school trip and I wanted to come. He was like, you didn't ask any questions? I was like, no. He was like, do you know how many people are in this prison because they didn't ask questions? They just jumped in the car with a friend, not knowing that the friend was going to rob somebody or unalive somebody. They didn't ask any questions. He was like, for the rest of your life, ask questions. It will keep you safe. And I've been asking questions ever since about every detail. Now, part of it is because I'm a type A control freak, but the other part is that I learned the lesson that day. let's just say I ain't go back to no more prisons. It scared me straight, all right. So they're back. They got the money, of course. But that's okay. You keep doing you, and I'm going to keep doing me. But let's stick around and see how long it takes her to actually get a job. Because I don't think she's going to get one. I don't remember. I was in high school. I don't remember. But whatever it was, it obviously it wasn't contraband. And I haven't talked about them in a while, so Steve Crick doesn't have a reason to be in here. I don't remember. But what I found out later was that the kids that were assigned to go were shown a video of it before, and they knew not to take anything. How they knew I was the dummy to take it, I don't know. But let me just tell you something. One thing about the people in prison is they can tell the sucker from the moment they walk in the door. Yes, they are still on here and asking for money. Yes, they got the money. Okay, let's see who I have left. Oh, let's do Violet. Frances, she's changed her name again. What is her name now? I am a child of God. And the is Faithful Prayer Warrior. Sorry I didn't update that. But now if you still look up Forever Young and Kindness Matters, it'll come up. But now I'm a child of God, Faithful Prayer Warrior. And so we all know that I believe it's the 18th, which is Thursday. She has a court hearing because her divorce was finalized, I want to say November the 5th. Her ex-husband didn't show up. So she was granted alimony. And of course, probably he got the papers saying this is what it is. Or his job got the papers saying by December 1st, you have to take this much money out of his check. I don't know how it worked. But he found out that he had to pay money. No, it couldn't have been his job because he didn't pay it on December the 1st. He went and got a lawyer and said he wasn't notified of the court date. So the judge set a court date for December the 18th. Okay, Berries, I'm going to be honest. If I have time, it might have to be Wednesday because I have a little bit of a presentation. But I will keep it in mind. Somebody else also asked to come up today, and I was like, I don't know that I'm going to have time this morning. But it might have to just be Wednesday, okay? It's not that I don't want to hear it, but I can't really stay until 10 or 10:30 today. So now Violet wants an attorney. Now it seems like now every Sunday she's taking care of her grandkids. She's an unfit grandmother. Just straight up. She cares more about being on the screen than taking care of her grandkids. Last week, her granddaughter, the youngest, was all over her. Wanted to play. Frances didn't want to play. She wanted to sit online and beg for money all day. And she has a mod, I believe her name is Michelle or Maddie May. Girl, you are doing more for her than she's doing for herself. Yes, I went back to a video where she was begging for the car that they brought from her. She literally sat there and was like, guys, I should have the money already. It's just $7,000. Like, why don't I have the money already? It's 900 people in here. I should have been had the money. Like, come on. I was like, what the what? Probably MLA Red. She probably does. That was when they brought her the car. Now we're asking for an attorney, and she doesn't say as much, but she got Michelle in there fighting for her life. So I asked her a question. Because I think, what is she at? $300? $360? And she wants, originally it was $4,500. Now she just needs to pay the lawyer $2,500 for him to represent her. And so I asked her, what are your plans with the money if you don't get it? If you don't reach your goal? She didn't answer that question. What she did was she told people to put hashtag FYP so that the question would roll up and nobody else would see it. Yes, her divorce is finalized, but he wasn't there, so he got an attorney to file saying he never got the paperwork because he's fighting the alimony. Why wouldn't you answer that question, Francis? Then the kids came to her and told her they were hungry and that they want sandwiches. She's like, okay, I'm going to make you sandwiches. And then she didn't move. And then she did not move. And so I said, feed your babies. Michelle muted and blocked me. Well, fucking what? Because I said, go feed your babies? Yes. Violet Hype Queen was her name on TikTok at one time. But her real name is Francis. How do I know? Go to her GoFundMe. You'll see it. Oh, yes, Michelle absolutely does. She didn't make a single move. And Michelle, let me tell you, I don't care if you block me everywhere. I'm going to still be watching. So keep that trigger finger ready. She sat there for another 30 minutes before she got up and made them sandwiches. And then you would think she would be like, guys, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go make them sandwiches. How about you go to the bathroom, you take a break, and I'll be back in 10 minutes. Oh, no. She told Michelle and her other mod, can y'all keep the chat going while I go make the sandwiches? Somebody, I didn't write down what the question was. Dang, hold on. Somebody asked her, dang, wait, let me see. Okay, here we go. Somebody asked her how much she had put together towards her own lawyer bill. Right? You work. What have you put towards it? And Michelle said that was an inappropriate question to ask. The fuck? It's inappropriate to ask her how much she put towards it, but she can ask us for money in this economy at this time of the year in a week span. Like, y'all have a twisted view of the world that you think that asking her how much she put towards it is inappropriate. You have to be kidding me. Oh, it's almost 400 now? Yeah, and they were like, Greg, and I'm making the name up, who can match him? He did $50, and Cindy gave $50. Who can match that? Girl, your trial is on Thursday. I'm going to suggest you read up on some of the laws. But the other thing she said was that she can't get legal aid. Let me see if I can find it. I hope I took a picture. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't take a picture. Anyway, wait a minute. Did I write it down? I didn't write it down. Anyway, there's somebody that did a post. I thought I wrote it down so that I could go back to it later. Anyway, they did a post. And I want to say I reposted it. Correct. Beach is my love. Or beach is my heart. Yes, you can get legal aid for divorces and alimony. Y'all can look it up in the state of Georgia. So she lied about that. But then I asked her another question. Oh no, I didn't make a question, sorry. I made a statement. Y'all know y'all can't, she's not going to get the money that you give today, right? Let me show y'all something. When you set up a GFM, there are two stages. One is setting up the bank verification that takes anywhere from 3 to 7 business days. Business days. So we might still be at that stage. But even if transferring the funds takes between 2 and 5 business days. So if you give her the money today, even if she got the entire amount, she might not get it in time. So then my question is, what does she really want the money for? Because at this point, she might not get a single dime before the day. What does she want the money for? Because she can get legal aid in the state of Georgia for a divorce. What does she want the money for? Because remember, it was $4,500 and she dropped it to $2,500. Is she trying to get her car fixed? Is she trying to get another car? She ain't buying those grandchildren presents. She don't even have the wherewithal to fix them a sandwich when they say they're hungry. And you want to know how I also call her unfit? So, of course, kids fight, right? I want to say it was a granddaughter, but it could have been a grandson. You know, at that age, when they cry, they sound alike. But they came to her because one hit the other. Did she mute? Did she scold the child that hit the other? No. She was just like, can y'all stop? And then the child who was hurt literally comes over to the couch, bawling their eyes out. Do you think she even turned to the child, consoled the child, made the child feel better? She didn't even turn her face from the screen. And then smartass Michelle was like, send them to their rooms. Bitch, what? Michelle, do you have children? And if you do, would you do that? As a grandmother, you couldn't console the child? Because my problem is that you wouldn't even turn your head. She literally ignored it like it wasn't happening. I'm over her. No, it's not for a lawyer. She knows she could get legal aid. She likes to play dumb, but she's not dumb. She's just a master manipulator. That's all she wanted, was a little comforting. And she's like, I stayed with him through his rehab. That's what a wife does. You act like that was extraordinary. When you took your vows, it was supposed to be for better or for worse. Now, how he did her is dead wrong. And do I think he should have to pay for it? Yes. Because if it wasn't Francis, I would say that about any woman. But if she thinks that she's going to get alimony longer than 5 years, I doubt it. Because like you said, she is young and able-bodied. She might get it for the 5, like she might say, well, you were married for 5 years, here's alimony for 5 years. But now he has an attorney and he's fighting it. She could work, Minnie, she does work. Barely, but she has a job. But it's not a full-time job. And do better taking care of your children. It's embarrassing as a grandmother. Let me go back to cakes real quick, because I missed the point I wanted to make. Let me go back to cakes real quick. So she told her audience, why y'all not talking? Why y'all just staring at me? Why isn't anybody saying anything? Why isn't anybody asking me what I ate today? And I laughed my ass off. Because that's manipulation. She wants you to ask her what she ate today so she can say, I didn't eat anything, I'm hungry. If it's so cold in Memphis and you're outside with a hoodie on, Memphis has resources. At the very least, you can get a coat for the cold. But again, it's to look like you have nothing. She was upset that people were sending her low amounts of money. She's like, when y'all send low amounts, I gotta wait even longer. What? Let me just say this. She was complaining that people are sending her supporters messages telling them that she's manipulating them. And all I want to say is thank you. You deserve a round of applause. Keep doing so. Keep doing what you do. I don't care that it makes her angry. Not at all. They hate us because they ain't us. Thank you specifically. Keep doing it. Because again, we're not doubting her condition. We're saying she's lying to you about it. I just saw a commercial where they put olive oil on ice cream. I ain't never heard of that before. Okay, who is left? Willie! Old Willie. So Mr. Willie Manly 5, I've been watching you for a few days. But I did a little digging. Yes, please tap, tap, tap. Oh, Nodding Willie, 110%. I saw that video. He was like, Yoop. He did a Lisa and popped up and was like, I'm so tired. Sir, we already know that that's not tired. That's not tired. That's I'm on something. And he self admits to being an alcoholic. I mean, to being a rug user, for going through rehab and being homeless before. But if you only watch Willie, you would think that that is his TikTok career. It is not. When Willie came on in July of 2025, his very first video is of a dog. And you know people love animals, so that gained traction right away. And it was adorable. She was swimming with her little, it was cute. But back then he was housed. He was in a house. He tried to lie later and say it was rehab. I don't know a single rehab where you can just have your dog. But he was doing videos every day. And he was trying to gain a following. He then started focusing on getting gifts, but more importantly, he started selling products. Now, in order for him to sell products, he has to have an address. But he was upset that without the certain number of followers, he couldn't do more than 5 videos a week. So he started focusing on gaining his numbers. The entire time he was housed. And he kept saying, I'm going to keep going because one of these are going to blow up one day. And I'm going to end up on the FYP. And then he told them, let's all make some money. And then his goal was 5,000 people. So that he could really sell shit, in his words. He said sell shit. And then in October, he was still housed. And that's when he revealed that he had gone through the road of addiction, homelessness, jail, and institutions. But he said he wasn't going back there. Well, now we know he went back there. At the end of October, he had enough to go live, and he thought just going live meant that TikTok was going to pay you. No, TikTok has rules. Even when you get 10,000 followers, people think you're automatically monetized. No, you're not. There are still rules. And I think I told you guys the other day, it's 10,000 followers, and I think it's 100,000 likes in a month to be monetized. So when people are like, I'm not getting any money from TikTok, I don't go live, I don't know that going live is mandatory. 10,000 followers and 100,000 likes in 30 days. Think about that, y'all. For people who just do videos. And so in October and November, he was still housed. So what happened in December? So I asked him, what happened? How did you end up in homelessness? Because you were housed in October and November. He was like, I was in rehab. Stop it. No, you weren't. And then, of course, I was called a troll and I got blocked. But on Saturday night, he was outside with his sister. Let me show you. This is Willie and his sister. I won't keep this up long because I know the chat is there. But this is him and his sister. And at some point, he was staying with his sister. But her boyfriend was supposedly violent and didn't want him there. We can go back to Willie's picture. And he was so violent to the sister that he claims he went and got the sister out of the house. Now, the reason why they said he couldn't leave, meaning the boyfriend, was because he was on the lease. Now, my question is, your sister is also on the lease. You said so. So if a man is hitting me and we're both on the lease, I'm calling the cops. He has to go because he's hitting me. And the cops, even if they didn't take him to jail, they would have said, you're drunk, you need to leave until you sober up. But no, that's not what they did. They left. They left and were walking the streets begging for $75 for a hotel, $70. And what was crazy was he didn't even say how much they needed for the hotel. He was just like, we need money for a hotel. And of course they hadn't eaten, so they would need money for food too. And he's like, I want to beat him up, but I can't because I don't want to go to jail. Well, why aren't you putting him in jail? He's the abuser. He's the aggressor, whether he's on the lease or not. And of course, we had anything helps. They're trying to figure things out. Anything you can do. We're walking the streets and it's so cold and we haven't eaten. And then he's like, well, at least we have a box of cereal. My sister, mind you, house full of food, she grabbed a box of cereal. He's only 26 years old and able-bodied, and he's on TikTok begging every day for a hotel room. How did we go from being housed in November to homeless? And then when somebody asks you about it, your reaction is to say, you're a troll, block. They don't want you to know the truth. Because this is the thing. The truth sets you free. You're able to tell the truth. You never have to lie. You never have to remember what you said yesterday. You just tell the truth. And then the story remains consistent. But they can't do that. And then, of course, he did the whole guilt trip of, my parents aren't living. We wish we could call our parents, but we can't. I can't call my parents either, but at 26, I was independent. Now, did I call my parents when I needed something, needed advice? Of course I did. But at 26, I was working. I had my own place. You're not a baby. And clearly your sister isn't one either. And then guess what happened? He came live the next day and said, yeah, we got a hotel room last night. But guess what he was standing in front of? His sister's apartment, because she went right back to that man. So all of that hubbalabub for nothing. For nothing. So if you never heard of Willie before, there's his name, there his at. I always put it in the middle so y'all can go find them for yourself and you make your own determination. But that's mine. He's a scammer, beggar, liar, manipulator. So on the grid you go, and you will stay on the grid so that as many, his sister has kids. Really? She left the kids there? I cannot. What is the sister's at? Anybody know? He was acting like she had never been on TikTok before. He's like, this is my sister. But this is the thing. They learn from everybody else. Okay, beggars enablers, send me a DM. I'm getting better about the DMs. Oh, by the way, I know people tell you to share the live with people. Do me a favor. If the live you're sharing isn't about scammers, beggars, liars, manipulators, please don't send it to me because it's bogging down my chat. Oh, thank you, True Love, for using one of the new stickers. Only send me lives that are related to this. I don't need to see the girl that's DJing. I don't need to see the girl that's sewing. I don't need to see a live of somebody selling something. Just send me lives that are relevant to what this account is for. That's it. But I've been getting better. I've been getting better. So now let's talk about the star of the show. As I said, you're going to want to be here this week because this is part 2, but I have a part 3 and a part 4. Yes, Scam Slam, your friend. So the digital pop-up live, I showed you guys the messages that she had sent me directly to my digital account. That was all, though. There was so much more that I didn't show you. And I promise you, some of it's going to be interesting. So we're going to call this the Bella James Expose Part 2. And I hope some of her people are in here because you guys got to make this sense for me. Let's go. So in the 48 hours after my digital after dark pop-up live, she was able to get her hair done and her nails done. How is that possible, people? Because she was just asking you for money for food and money for gas. So where did this money come from all of a sudden? And believe me, she's making posts related to me. Oh, this person thinks this and this person thinks that. Let me prove them otherwise. How? You've been saying that every extra dime you have, you've been putting it into your mother. But suddenly you have money to get your hair and nails done? Okay. And then she did this video where she was like, somebody doesn't believe that Brandon puts gas in my car. Girl, all we saw was Brandon leaving the new hub station with a cup of coffee. You could have still paid for the gas at the pump. Like, come on. But okay, he's finally putting gas in your car so that you don't have to beg your audience. It's about time. But again, if Brandon is now putting gas in the car, why hasn't Brandon been putting gas in the car this whole time? What did she say in the chat that night? Or no, in a message, Brandon is his own person and I'm my own person? Oh, well, things have changed now. Isn't that cute? But okay. So now I'm going to show you the messages I didn't show you before. As you can see, wait a minute. I want to do one other thing before I do that. You all know this account, right? The account where she's like, you don't have as many numbers as me. As if I care. Numbers for me don't matter. But okay. These are two accounts you might not know of. The True Pretty Princess and Will Loves Bella. I don't even think she's with Will any longer. And then there's the official Bella James account and the Bella James Shirley account. I know followers can be bought. But okay. So you coming from every which way but left. But the great thing about it is that it gives you a treasure trove of information you didn't have before. So in her own comment section, she says, I've called her out on every platform and she has said nothing. You know why? Because I say what I'm going to say in my live. I don't need to go back and forth with you. Under my YouTube video, you're going to love this one. I don't know if you're slow or on the spectrum. And if you are, bless you. However, if you want to talk all this, then go live with me. You don't know me at all, but what clicks on your video and subscribers is cute. Wait a minute. Let me find the rest of that. I didn't realize I hadn't posted the whole thing. Let me find it. My apologies. I don't know if you are slow or on the spectrum, and if you are, bless you. However, if you want to talk all this, then go live with me. You don't know me at all, but want clicks on your videos and subscribers. It's cute. Stop trying to be a news anchor because they don't hire simple or slow people. Now, how many of y'all love somebody that's on the spectrum? But y'all want to talk about I went low? This is on my YouTube video. You talking about somebody that needs to get canceled. Am I on the spectrum? Okay. Okay, wait, I already showed that one. So from the Bella James Shirley account, which is the account with her mother, she says, so you're going to keep talking about me, or you're going to go live with me and ask me your questions and give me your opinion? Let me be clear. You are probably a lonely SSI, although she said SSI collecting person who barely get off the couch. So for you to judge me and talk about me just proves how undereducated you are. Tell me that she wasn't trying to gaslight me into going live with her. Like, what? Undereducated. Ma'am. You can say a lot about me, but that is a joke. Because when you have to question if I'm slow or on the spectrum, I don't care if you have your PhD. That is one of the most uneducated, unsophisticated, ridiculous things anybody could say to another human being, for A. And for B, what if I was on the spectrum? What does any of that have to do with the fact that you're a liar, that you're a manipulator? Huh? What does any of that have to do with any of that? Correct. Uncouth. Another YouTube video. Let me be your one comment because people don't watch you. Okay. Another YouTube video. I'll be your one comment. Pathetic. Clearly you weren't the only comment, but okay. Another YouTube video. Let me be your one comment because people don't watch you. Another YouTube video. The least you could do is tag someone. Another YouTube video. So where you at? You know what? You want to go live? Let's talk, because you open your mouth and speak on a person, but ain't quick to get on a live show yourself and talk like a normal person. How do I talk? How do I talk? When you had the opportunity to get in the live, all you could do was curse, scream, hoop, and holler, and couldn't get to the point. I gave you a warning, and the only thing you could do was try to go off on me on my platform. Picture me doing that. But you are everywhere claiming that you're calling me out. That I can't speak like a normal person? Then she says that's giving creep behavior. No, what you're doing is creep behavior. You're everywhere. Everywhere. So she said, so go read your messages and hit me up because you can't tell me to my face nothing. First of all, I'm not coming to Texas to bumfuck to see you. That's for A. And for B, start raising the money to come to Florida because that's what you're going to need. In person. I can't face you. Am I supposed to be afraid of you, ma'am? So you can see I said, go touch some grass. Like, come on. And then I said, you had the opportunity to come up in my box and you didn't. And I went to your, this is before I gave her the opportunity to come in the box. And I said, and I went to your page and you weren't live like you said. So what do you want me to do? Again, this was on her platform. I called her out on every platform and she said nothing. And then, of course, she got sycophants. I'm confused on how you're scamming anyone because people are just miserable and want clout and clicks off you. JD, speak what you know, baby. I don't need clout or clicks off of Bella. I can do a live that doesn't include Bella at all. Why don't you tell her to stop lying and manipulating y'all? Because my thing is, how did she need money 48 hours ago? She had nothing. She had no food, no razors, no gas. She needs coolant. But then 48 hours later, she's going to get her hair and nails done. Why don't you question how that happens? Ask her about that. And then this one at the bottom. I'm so sorry you're dealing with all this stuff. Why don't you ask her about what I'm dealing with? But okay, feel bad for her. I don't care. Then she says, it's funny, she is quote unquote well known and quote unquote very knowledgeable, but won't go live and tell me to my face her problem. I tell you my problem every day. You are a scammer, beggar, liar, manipulator. What more do I need to say? And I prove it every time I come live and talk about you. What more do I need to say? Do I need to slow it down for you? You are a scammer, beggar, liar, and manipulator. I hope you got it this time. Okay, Brandon. Take care of her so she doesn't have to ask for money on TikTok. Nobody cares. Another YouTube video. You still can't get my views or the attention you want. Poor thing. Then this was during the digital, this was after the digital live. She says, I'm so horrible. And I say, you got it wrong. It was Scam Slam. I didn't make, Brandon, shouldn't you be at work? Why are you in women's business anyway? Anyway, I didn't make any video about you. And what you said is horrible. And she said, okay, and she doesn't care about anything she said about me. Not a single thing. Brandon, you want to know the weakness of you? My man doesn't have to come in here and defend me. I'm woman enough to stand up and say what I say without apology. Because again, Tell me where I'm lying. Tell me where I'm lying. I am showing them proof of what Bella said. Do you think it was okay for Bella to ask if I was slower on the spectrum? You are okay with that? You probably are. But again, so this was one of her videos, and this is how you know she's sending messages to me. Here she goes. People think I don't get my face together every day. I can't do it when I feel good. I'm people. Say my name. You're bold. Say my name. But I want y'all to know what I've been dealing with on the back end. It wasn't just the messages she sent me on Digital After Dark. She asked if I was slow and on the spectrum. She said I was a creep. She said I was undereducated. And lo and behold, when you do a little digging, you find out so much. So let me give you a preview to part 3 and part 4. There was a time she was living in a tent. And this is what she was doing on TikTok. But I'll explain how bad it was. Not for her, what she was doing to other people. And then part 4. Can you believe there is a page called Surviving the Dr. Pepper Queen? This isn't Mrs. First Rodeo with a problem on TikTok. And the same thing she's doing to me, she did to them. Wait, where is it? Hold on. So, y'all stick around for the week. Because Missy has had a lot to say over the years. And I'm going to prove to you who she really is. I'm just a sideshow. I'm the third or fourth person to call her out for her behavior. And that's why she's coming so hard. Yes, she's the Dr. Pepper Queen. She's coming so hard because she doesn't want the thing that has been told about her by people who liked her. She's mad that this is coming back around. Brandon, make sure you're here all week since you're not at work now. You might learn something about your girl. That's a wild man, though. It's not Brandon, it's Bella, y'all. Brandon is at work. Be for real. Mind you, Bella isn't blocked. What I'm gonna block her for? Because she's just gonna come she's just gonna come on another account. Correct, glad I'm not her. Thank you, Lizzie Busy. But I want y'all to remember this statement because there's no too low for Bella. She will talk about anything. Remember, she said the R word. She was referring to herself, of course. But who uses that word now? Who tries to shame somebody for being slow or on the spectrum? But I'm bullying her? Y'all can't be serious. Let's be intellectually honest. Who is bullying who? The only thing I do is say Bella said X and Y. And why is she doing it? I just showed y'all. She's begging for this, that, and the third. And let's be clear, she has admitted in the past to scamming. And I'm talking big numbers. For you, I choose to address people by the pronoun they prefer. I don't have to drag her for that. That's what she wants to be referred to as Bella. She wants to use she, her pronouns. I have no problem with that. But we're going to address bullying properly. We're going to stop saying that I'm the bully. And we're going to show who the bully is. So now you guys have part 2. So that you can see that I talked about her, twice? And I'm obsessed with her? No, boo-boo. You are everywhere trying to get... And I didn't even check Instagram. You had an opportunity to get in my box. You acted like a heathen with no home training and thought that you were going to be in my box cursing me out about the truth that I told about you. You know what they say? Don't tell no lies about me and I won't tell no truth about you. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. That is the time I am on. So, I've reached the limit. I appreciate... Oh, wait. Hold on. We can't end on a bad note. No, no, no. Motivation for the day. The past doesn't matter. The future, we don't know. The present is what is important. And why is it called the present? Because it is a gift. So I give that gift to you guys today. Enjoy your day. Be blessed that you are here to see it. There are people in Australia right now who are targeted for being Jewish, celebrating Hanukkah. A 12-year-old, someone who has survived the Holocaust, are no longer here because of the hatred of a father and son. But I don't want to forget the hero that tackled the son. He was shot too. And then I don't want to forget the people at Brown University who were gunned down by a person for what seems like no reason. And the person they arrested and put out wasn't the person who did it. So we're still looking for that person. And I also want to shout out the Reiner family. They were found in their home unalived, apparently by a knife. That is close and personal. In my opinion, that's somebody they knew. So be blessed today, that you're seeing today, that you have plans for the future, because some people aren't here. And let's not forget Rizzy, who was so distraught that she called out the people on TikTok who have bullied her into feeling like her life meant nothing. And then on the very app that took everything from her, she unalived herself on it. I can't imagine how the people who were sitting in that live feel. I'm glad I wasn't there. So rest in peace to all those people, and be blessed that you are here in the present. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Make sure that you hug your loved ones, because clearly tomorrow isn't promised. And please do some self-care during the end of this year. I know it is a lot for everybody. I appreciate you. I love you all. Keep doing the good work, because we are on the right side of the wrong street. And if we give up, they win. Echo. Play I Ain't Never Scared.
Here's Never Scared by Bone Crusher, featuring Killer Mike and T.I. on Amazon Music.
If I don't see you on the streets, I'll see you Wednesday morning.